Alright everybody, it's time to talk about Weekly Shonen Jump 2025, issue number 50. On the cover this week, of course, we have the final new series in this new series wave, being Hero Girl and Demon Lord Call It Quits by Matsuri Hatsubina. I'm really not a fan of series that have long-ass titles like this. It's going to be weird to read every week. This is definitely the longest title currently in the magazine, so I mean, whatever, it's fine. I'll get used to it, but it's definitely throwing me off. It sounds like a light novel title rather than a shonen manga title. But I'm down. The obviously, it's another one of those new series covers, so not a whole lot to say, but the character designs seem nice. I'm about to find out who these people are in a second, so I can't really comment much on them, but they're cute, simple designs. I like them. And based on title alone, I mean, it sounds like probably a comedic, maybe a little bit of action, slice of life type deal. I don't really know. Maybe just a pure gag manga. I don't know what this is yet. But I guess I'll just go ahead and find out. Let's check out this issue. Hero Girl and Demon Lord Call It Quits, Chapter 1, The Hero and the Demon Lord. I'm going to be really curious to see what most people think of this, because for me, I kind of don't have a solid opinion yet. It's sort of just fine. Like, it's cute. I like the concept. This isn't exactly a new idea. This has been done plenty of times, usually in light novels from what I understand, but again, not an unusual concept to have comedic take on the whole hero versus villain thing, and they settle down, call it quits, whatever. This isn't new, but it is cute and charming. I like the character designs, and the way they act is fun. But there's also not like a whole lot for me to sink my teeth into here. Like, I can't even really muster up anything to say about it in particular other than it was cute. It's another one of those things where, and this is actually happening a lot lately with this magazine, where it's a novel concept, it's a fun idea, but I fail to see how this can be a whole series. There's no, lately with Shonen Jump series, new ones that come into the magazine, there's this weird lack of a narrative hook. It's all just completely concept based. So it just shows a concept for a story, and then you're just left with it for chapter 1. That's it. Just, you see, hey, this is what I am. See you next week. And I don't know. I like having a narrative hook in my chapter 1. I like intrigue, but there's no story being built up here. And I guess you can just say that, oh, all the recent series aren't really trying to tell a particular story. It is just that. It's just an idea, and let's do some fun stuff with it. There's not anything wrong with that per se. It's just kind of, it's getting a little repetitive having the same kind of chapter 1 given to us like 5 times over. Maybe we'll get a narrative hook later, but at the same time, I like, because of how this chapter is structured, I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, how can this be like a serialized story? I don't know what a story could be here. Whatever, it's just a wait and see moment. That's all these things. You gotta give it time. It's chapter 1. These series aren't one-shots. I would be curious to read the one-shot from this that got it in the magazine to see, what we could glean about a story from that. This is the beginning to a series, so I gotta keep that in mind and understand that there's going to be more shoes to drop later down the line. But as it stands for what this first chapter is, it was fine. It was cute. Just not much more to say about it. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 10, Majority Vote. Very high on the TOC. It's number 1, so that's awesome. I mean, to be expected. This is basically just JJK again, and obviously that always got good TOC placement, so not very surprising, but it's still nice to see that people are digging this. So this was a classic Gege Yapathon. We have so much text, it's actually insane, but there's a lot of interesting stuff that I am happy to hear about, because, I mean, unlike the last couple chapters where it was flashbacks and, alien happenings and stuff that not super invested in. I'm sure it's important and matters, and I did like it for what it was. This is more my speed. Like, this is things I understand and know well enough to understand the significance of the information I'm getting. Obviously, biggest thing is Yuji. He's presumably going to end up being in this series. He's also very much alive, and his appearance is still young from, I mean, we only see his mouth, but still looks young. I assume that's because he's whatever it's called, death womb, cursed womb painting, death painting, whatever the hell, I forget. So he probably doesn't age like a normal human being. So he's out there somewhere, and we're gonna go find him, I guess. That's a big deal here. I assume he will end up being a part of the story here in the coming chapters. I don't know how much longer the series is gonna last. I mean, if it was going for like a 3-volume run, then it would probably be ending in the next like 10 weeks. But if it's gonna be longer, like limited series could mean anything. This could be like 50 chapters. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I can't really tell how long this series can be. But beyond that, obviously very exciting that Yuji is, even just his name being brought up is exciting, but the fact that we're basically being promised that he will be in this at some point is very, very exciting. But I really like all the character stuff here. The interactions at the end is all fun, and yeah, just, you know, it's nice to see the characters being characters. It's definitely one of Gege's strengths in writing, is giving the characters time to show off their personalities. Definitely a lot of text, though. I am very surprised that Gege hasn't gone on to write a bunch of JJK light novels. I think he would have a lot of fun with that. One Piece Chapter 1165, Reverberations. It's really nice to see Law and Beppo on the cover this week. It's been a while since we've seen them, and even though this isn't like a appearance in the story, it's still nice to see them at all in any capacity. Here it is. This is what everybody has been waiting for since this was even mentioned as a thing that happened. Roger and Garp versus Rocks. It certainly lived up to the hype. This was so cool to see happen. Again, it's the same thing I've been saying for the past few weeks, how just surreal it is to be seeing this stuff. Because it just felt so far away, like we wouldn't be seeing this shit for years. And, you know, I remember thinking that years ago. So now I guess years have passed and here we are. It doesn't feel real, but it's awesome. This is basically the end of God Valley. Maybe there'll be like one more chapter. It's off next week, unfortunately, but when we come back, maybe there'll be like a little God Valley wrap up, because there is still a few little things to know, I think. But regardless, we do need to touch back on the Giants. I would hope. They didn't really end up being involved in God Valley in any capacity, so like, I don't think we're done with this flashback. It just wouldn't make sense to be done with it. Just a really, really fantastic chapter. I loved this a lot. It's so cool. I love all the little details and lore drops and just seeing how things fall into place for the future. Thing I didn't expect was seeing like Marco's dad or whatever that is. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why that was necessary to see, but hey, I mean, why not? Amazing chapter. That final page will stick with me for a while. It's so damn cool. Someone Hertz Chapter 9, Bad Kid. Best chapter yet. I loved this chapter so much. This is like exactly what I want out of this series. It had everything. It's just a nice little outing with the two of them, and Kurage giving some nice life advice to Mime. And it's just cute to see how like he takes it to heart for real. Because this is somebody he admires and respects, as well as has romantic interest in. So it's like a cool student-teacher dynamic with the two of them that I think is a lot of fun. This is the series at its best. Like, everything I think was just firing on all cylinders here. Art was really good. I love that double-page spread. It's so simple. Like, I'm a sucker for double-page spreads. I think you guys know this by now. But just the fact that, like, that's just it. You know, it's just them walking in the rain. But it's so wonderful to look at. I also really liked seeing the hosts of Mound Mid very briefly, and the fact that they see the kids and they tell the story later. It felt very natural, maybe a little like forced, and like, oh wow, they just so happen to see those two, like the main characters. But I don't know, that shit happens. It makes enough sense for me. I thought it was cool. And I also like Mime trying to like, he sends an email, or he's about to send an email at the end, but even he's like, no, that's just so stupid. Why would I do that? I'm glad he stopped himself. That would have been absurd if he actually sent that email. But it shows that these characters are written like human beings, which is great. You know, these are real thoughts and real things that people would be going through in this moment. pretty much perfect. I think this chapter was fantastic, and it's a perfect encapsulation of what this series does best and what it's capable of. The Mage Next Door, Chapter 2, Osoegawa versus Ice. This chapter brought about an interesting thought in my mind. I was wondering, like, how interesting does an early chapter have to be to warrant success? Because 2 chapters in, and I feel like I already get this whole series shtick. Like, and this, again, this is something I was just talking about with the new series. This keeps happening. We get these series that come in and they are just a concept. This concept being a lazy guy who has moral high ground and, interesting, funny spells that he can use to kick ass unexpectedly. And it's fun to read. Like, I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy this chapter. I did have a good time reading it, but it's not special, and I can't exactly put my thoughts on this into words yet. I guess it's still just too early. I need the series to show its hand more if it has anything else to show. And I think it does. I said very similar things with Someone Hurts, and that has been, really just this last chapter today impressed me a lot. So ultimately, I need to give all these new series some time. I'm curious to see how Gonron Egg is this week. That hasn't been great. But again, this one wasn't bad. It's just kind of nothing. I got nothing. I read this and I was like, okay. But it wasn't bad. I enjoyed my time with it. It's just not really bringing anything new to the table. It just is what it is. It's basically the same kind of deal as last week, just with less heart to it, I guess. And you could argue that's even worse, but I think it was fine. Totally fine chapter. Really nothing wrong with it. I'm just nitpicking, I guess. I don't know. Ichi the Witch, Chapter 58, Nurture the Future. I was really wondering what Jikishiron's or Jikishirone, I still don't know how to say it. I'm just going to go Jikishiron for now until somebody tells me otherwise. I was really wondering what her role would be in this arc, ever since, she was said to be a part of this arc. And I really didn't think it would be this, actually. I thought she would kind of have a antagonist role or like an opposing force. Like, not exactly evil, but just kind of pushing the opposite direction while everybody else is pushing the other way. But here we have her being won over, and it's so adorable. It works so well. I really loved their whole conversation. I thought it was very well done. And man, that scene of the vision of the future is grim. That's not something I expected from Ichi the Witch. It usually doesn't get quite this dark. Like, that is a very grim image that is being shown, to the point where I don't even exactly know if I should show that on YouTube. That's pretty bad. But I'll show it. I don't really think it'll be an issue. But damn, I was not expecting to see something like that from the series. But it's effective, extremely so. Like, you see that and you can immediately understand, like, oh, okay, I get where she's coming from now. Being Jikishiron. So yeah, her resolve to join the fight here and help out is awesome, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. Another great chapter. It's on a hot streak, so great stuff.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto Days, Chapter 236, Car Wash. We're getting back on track. This is closer to what I enjoy from Sakamoto Days, but I can't lie to you guys, I'm still just not feeling where we're at right now. Like, I like this action, like what I'm showing on screen right now. That's sick. A really cool visual. But I just don't really know if I care. And that sucks because I was really locked in. There's even one of the titles that it was like Sakamoto Days Final Arc is a banger. I thought it was. And it's still good, but I don't know. There's something that I just don't really care right now. I gotta get back in a headspace. I've been let down too many weeks in a row, I feel. And I know not everybody's on that same page. A lot of people probably did like the last fight. That, by the way, that fight is still not over. But the fight that we just spent like 4 chapters on. And I'm sure this fight, I can't say I'm sure, but it could win me over. The characters involved are more interesting for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. Just this chapter on its own is just kind of whatever. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It looked nice, of course. Sakamoto's action always looks nice. Just not quite at the level of the series I want to be at yet. Gotta keep ramping up. It'll win me over again eventually. I know it will. I just gotta keep riding the wave.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Gonron Egg Chapter 3 at the waterfront. Guys, I don't want to sound dramatic, but I think this series sucks ass. Now, I'm not sure yet. I can't be confident, but I think it just might. Okay, let's look at this cover page to start. I've been talking a lot about how the character art and the background art contrast to comical levels. This is a fantastic example of that. And a lot of you in the comments have not been understanding that, and that's blowing my mind. Look at this, okay? This background art, obviously, this was not done by the artist. There's not a chance in hell. This was done by the assistants. And the character, Gonron here, is drawn by the artist of the series. That's obvious, because it's that weird line work style. Like, again, I'm not gonna say it's bad, I guess, even though I certainly don't like it. I know a lot of you do, though. And I respect that. You know, you can like what you like. It is certainly a style. It's a bold approach, but it is a style. But you cannot deny the contrast here. It's 2 completely different art styles, and I'm supposed to believe that this is like a coherent world that is being shown to me. It just feels like the characters are copy and pasted into the world. Backgrounds and the characters are like 2 completely separate entities, and yes, that is pretty normal, but there's usually some cohesion and collaboration between the editors and the artists to make the style unified. Look at One Piece. Obviously, there is a lot of that contrast between background and character art a lot of the times. But there is an effort on the editor's part to not make it stand out too much. But here I do not feel that effort. I feel like the assistants are just kind of going all in. They're just flexing hard as hell. Like, here, look at how good my art is compared to this fucking loser. That's how it feels to me. That's the attitude I imagine in the office. And I just want to show this one page here real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this chapter because I kind of just feel bad for this series. But this page is just very, very amateur, like painfully so. Like, this doesn't feel like it should be a published series. God, I hate saying these words. I feel bad, you know? Like, it's amazing that this author got in Shonen Jump. Good for them. Congrats. That's awesome. But I don't think they were ready. I think they needed years, a few more years to polish their skills before going into publication. This feels like a first attempt at manga that you just like upload on your website or something. Maybe not that drastic, but if it didn't have the professionally done backgrounds, then actually, yeah, I probably would be saying that pretty comfortably. I don't know, guys. I feel like a bully when I talk about this series in a negative way. And I hate that. There's something about it where it's endearing, but it just sucks. It really does. The story is very uninteresting. Character designs are rough. The creature designs, I'll give it up. They're kind of neat. But that's about all I can give it. I think this mangaka needed a lot more time in the kitchen before serving us a dish, because this ain't it. This is not it. Nobody online seems to like it, so obviously this is probably going to be axed very quickly. I've never seen like this much universal hatred for a series before, and that's also why I feel bad, because this isn't like a Nice Prison. A Nice Prison was garbage and it thought it was awesome and like the funniest thing ever. That's why I hate that series, and I can say I hate that series and I do not feel bad for the author in any capacity. This one feels earnest. That's why I just hate like mocking other people's art and creations. But man, when it's just right here in front of me compared to all these other series and most of these other series, I just can't help but feel the way I do. And I do feel bad about it, but it is what it is. I'm sorry, Gonron Egg. You are not for me. Or most of the population, I guess. What a shame. Akane-banashi Chapter 182, Reward. Okay, so Kaise didn't really get in the way all too much. He was actually just trying to help, basically. So this is great because I'm very happy to see this. I was really ready for this Isho conversation, and it did not disappoint. I think this is really interesting where we're going with this character. It's something that's been on my mind a lot ever since Akane, was taken under his wing, about how this would progress. And the fact that we see Akane's thoughts on the matter now, and how she's admitting to herself that she does have conflicting feelings about him because, she's starting to learn who he is as a person, and that sort of like demon imagery of him that she saw previously is kind of fading because, he's being humanized. And that is such a fascinating avenue to take with like a villain character. And obviously, this is a villain in a non-battle shonen series. It's a opposing force rather than like I'm going to take over the world bad guy. He's just the end goal. It's always been the end goal. He's just this tough ass old asshole who Akane wants to put in his place. But now it's all being flipped on its head, and both us, the readers, and Akane don't really know what exactly she wants to do. She's trying to tell herself that she still wants to take him down, and that he's her nemesis. But there's all these conflicting things happening, and she's trying to find any little thing, any little reason to still hate him. But it's still like that weird thing where it all feels calculated. Like he is kind of like some evil mastermind, even though he really isn't. He just has that aura to him, he has that vibe. And the presentation of that concept is off the charts phenomenal. Love this whole chapter, love how it ends. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Obviously, always get cliffhangers like this when Isho's involved. This happens every single time. This is probably the best example yet. I'm so excited to see where this goes, what this could possibly end up being. Incredible chapter. Can't wait for the next one. Shinobi Undercover Chapter 57, Amamori's Underground Training Facility. As soon as I read that title, I was like, fuck. We're not getting slice of life stuff. Even though we actually kind of still are, but good portion of this chapter was spent on a little training fight, which I didn't like, I gotta be honest. I think this series is at its worst when it is specifically doing training fights. Because we had that whole arc of that, and truth be told, I hated that arc. I thought it was pretty dog shit. Now we get like a one chapter, same kind of deal thing where I also really didn't like it. We do like start and end with slice of life stuff, but I can't really say I'm too interested in where the slice of life stuff is heading by the end of this chapter. It's kind of giving me New Wave vibes, just with much better presentation. I don't really know what the point of introducing a character like this so late in the story is. Well, I just said so late in the story. We're really not that late. It's chapter 57. That's a lot, but I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I don't like this on paper. Let's see. Let's just see. I'm not going to say this sucks immediately. I got to hear it out, but I just can't say I'm really interested personally at this very moment. It is what it is.
What are you doing, step bro?
Noah's Exorcist Chapter 122, Cheer Battle. I had the thought, I'm not going to do it, but I had the thought of taking last week's Nue segment and just copy and pasting it into this video, because my thoughts are no different from last week. Don't care about this. Not fun, not funny, not interesting, not exciting, nothing. No emotion. Blank face while reading. I do not care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, New Wave fans. I can't do it. I don't. I got nothing. See you next week. Blue Box, Chapter 218, A Place of Memories. Oh my god. Dude, my heart is like pounding. This is... my head's all over the place too. Okay, so let me get this straight. First of all, the story with Hina's father, about Hina's father, is really, really good. That was very impactful and, kind of emotionally profound, I thought. That was very, very good stuff. I really enjoyed the message of that. And, oh man, that moment, seeing him cry and how she's like, that's the first time I ever saw an adult cry. It's, it's a moment a lot of us can point to in our childhood, I would assume. That moment you first see like a completely vulnerable adult figure in your life and somebody who you admire that much too. Like she even says like he was hardly a dad, he was more so just like this deity. It's not literally what she says, but basically it's just like this insane athlete that just felt so at the top of the world, nothing could stop him. And to see him like that shook me to the core is what she says. Oh man, damn. And now the stuff with Taiki here. Okay. So this is the climax of this whole thing that's been building with Hina, where she's still grappling with the feelings she has for him. I was pretty confident in Miura to handle this with grace and do something interesting with it. And I still, right now, I'm not going one way or the other. I still think this will go interesting places, but that's a wild way to end this off. She's definitely crossing some boundaries here. She's just kind of going for it. And even, Taiki's even like, he's stunned. He doesn't know what to do here. And that face on Hina at the end, I don't even know how to interpret it. Like it's, oh man, this is a lot. I don't know. This is a lot. This chapter is a lot. I really like it, but I have to view it in a vacuum because I don't know what comes next. I might not like what comes next, but I do like what I just read this week. I think this was a very, very good chapter. A shocking ending, to say the least. I know a lot of people thought this is where it was going, but I was kind of the opinion that there was something more to this, but it does seem bad for Hina right now. But this still could be twisted into something else. Like maybe she just, oh God, I don't know. This is a good chapter. It's got me talking, so that's good. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious to hear more thoughts on this chapter in particular and where you think Hina's headed, because as still is the case with every other chapter before, it is really impossible to read where this character is going. I just don't know. I have no clue, even still. Because there's a lot of blue box cliffhangers that seem like it's one thing, but then they end up being something else. So, I don't know. Great chapter, though. Seriously, I loved this a lot. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 68, The Great Demon Lord Hellzebub. 10 out of 10. This is the best subversion of expectations I've seen in anything in a while. Guys, if you didn't watch it last week, go watch the segment from last week. I yapped on and on about how, this pacing's too fast. Is the series ending? What's going on? Oh, I don't know. Only for it to be a complete subversion of expectations. This isn't the final boss. This is like the introductory main quest giver. He's just kicking off the story. He's an ally. Oh my God, this is amazing. I actually was like giddy through this whole chapter. This is so fun. So yeah, we have who we thought was going to be like the main final boss of this arc now being, now setting up this whole arc and what's to come. Perfection. I could not have asked for anything better. I love this. This made me like this series so much more, and I already really liked it, but just this alone is just like, hell yeah, dude. I love that. That's so good. I couldn't have asked for a better chapter this week. I almost would give this chapter of the week. It's not that good, but I love this. This was like, if I gave like individual like moment of the week, it would go to this. Cause damn, that was incredible. What a page turn. Hima-Ten Chapter 66, Christmas with the House Cleaner. So, I really loved this chapter. However, I did come to the realization that there have been a lot of chapters that have ended with Himari basically saying this same thing. Yes, it is more direct this time, where, she's literally saying, it's time for me to join the battle. And right on, I love that. Love that for her, but this does keep happening. I am assuming this will be like, this feels like final to me though. Like this is really her. I guess you can view the other moments like this as just build up to this. Like this is her really steeling herself and getting ready to start making big moves. on Ie Mori, like all the other girls are. And I really love Himari coming to the realization that, you know, she like bought her friendship or relationship, bought happiness is what is happening here. It's a classic like rich person story arc, you know, them coming down to earth and realizing that everything they have is like bought. It's artificial, which isn't exactly the case for Himari. That's a little extreme, but it is the same sort of story being told, just on a smaller scale. But yeah, overall, fantastic chapter for Himari. I think this did a lot for her character, and I loved it. Best chapter in a while, I think. In Roboco Chapter 257, Barista and Roboco. So, not an amazing chapter, but I did think it was pretty funny a lot of the time. The whole general idea, I mean, aside from it being this barista thing, is that the meta deal is that it's a chapter was skipped, or maybe even multiple chapters. So we're just kind of like seeing the final chapter of a whole story arc. And the jokes around that are really funny. I like the part where Roboco's like, watch over me, Grandpa Grinds, and no fucking clue who that is. And just ending like a whole arc conclusion is really funny. I thought it was well done. Just, you know, not like 100% banger, but I think overall, pretty good chapter. I liked it a lot. Kagurabachi Chapter 100, Sword Master. Okay, I was wrong about Chihiro, sorta. He ending tease, you know, I think we're getting close, but Chapter 100 wasn't it. Also, Shueisha celebrated Kagurabashi's Chapter 100 by putting it like near the bottom of the TOC. What in the world? What's that about? Whatever. But anyways, what we did to get here is Soga's like proper introduction. This character that we've been hearing about for a long time, and I think we have seen him before. Again, not the biggest Kagurabachi lore guy. I just kind of take a lot of it at face value. That's, if you're new here, that's how I am with Kagurabachi. But regardless, his proper introduction, starting off a fight, all really cool stuff. I think this is a chapter deserving of being Chapter 100. It felt very important. It's also really nice to see Shiba again. I actually really like Shiba, so I hope he gets some importance coming up. And I expect him to, given this tease here. I think we're getting back to Chihiro territory. It's coming up. Good stuff, though. I really like this chapter.
Feel the power of my magic!
Elusive Samurai Chapter 226, Nanbokucho, Invincibility 1352. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I don't. What is this series doing? I'm so confused. We're just like edging Takauji dying over and over. I don't. It's so weird. Chojuro gets up there. He's about to kill him, and he's just like, "Oh, almost gotcha. Darn it! All right, see you later." Or sorry, Kojuro, not Chojuro. If I said Chojuro, I'm pretty sure I said Chojuro. I meant Kojuro. Anyways, I didn't like this chapter. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what the series is doing. It feels so weird and whack. This doesn't really feel like the ending to a series. And I don't like this weird forced romance. I don't know. I don't like any of this. Whatever. This series is not going to end well, I don't think. I had high hopes for some reason. I don't even know why I did. I thought like there's no way you can mess this up, but it's being messed up. I don't like this. This is just not working for me at all. Altar of the Flame, Chapter 26, Soul Grafting. Okay. Now I think this series is ending. It is definitely giving I'm about to end vibes, which is weird because we just had an axe wave, and now, I mean, looking ahead, I'll talk about Harukaze Mound in a second, but looking ahead at the placements that Harukaze Mound has been getting lately, damn, not looking good, like, at all. And this is, obviously, it's been at the bottom for months, but it's just barely scraping by for some reason. We might be getting a smaller axe wave, just 2 series, this and Harukaze, but I feel it because, man, this is on its way out. It doesn't have much longer left, I don't think. Could be wrong. The series have felt like they're about to end before, and they didn't. Look at the Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. We will see. I'm open to this continuing, but it's still baffling to me that it's even still around because of how poor it's doing for the most part. It has ride or dies for sure. There are people who glaze the hell out of this series, and all the power to them. I think it's a fine enough read. I think it's okay, but yeah, I don't see it lasting much longer. It's feeling like it's about to end. There is one really cool piece of art. I can't really call this like a good example of paneling because I mean it's very basic paneling at the end of the day, but it looks nice. This cool like flying knee drop kick thing. It looks great. I really like that page. Definitely a standout for the chapter for me. Yeah, beyond that, I don't know. It was an alright chapter. I didn't hate it. I don't really, not too invested, I guess, in what's happening because I don't know. The story in Oter just isn't very interesting to me on the whole. But I did like the ending. I think there's some intrigue there that I am actually pretty interested in. Like just the core story with Oter, I think I care enough about to want to see what happens at least. Just everything going on around him. I could take it or leave it. The side characters aren't really this series' strongest aspect. But I don't know. Let me know if you think it's ending too. I can feel it coming, but again, it might be like a fake out or just the natural part of the story that just feels conclusive. Never know.
Oh, that's a baseball!
Harukaze Mound Chapter 21, Super Sadistic Coach. I somehow hadn't even realized that this team didn't have a coach. I guess I just didn't even think about it. I don't know how I feel about this coach. She's introduced very fast. And I get that because I think this series is kind of on thin ice. At least looking at the TOC, like that's dead last. Ooh, that's rough. But I don't know. I mean, you could just view it as like they have a pretty solid lineup right now, and that's just kind of the thing that has to hit that last slot. Never know. So maybe it's just kind of trying to speed through things and get to the things that they want to put in here and show off to get more people on board. And this is definitely a good play in that field. I think introducing a woman is always a good idea in overly dominant male series. But yeah, she's interesting enough. I don't dislike her. It's just a very quick, fast inclusion here, and I still just want to get to a damn game. Oh my god, they gotta get there soon. It's driving me crazy. We should be having a real game by now. I really think so. It's gonna kill it. It's gonna kill this series. I'm serious. I really think it's like, okay, this was a good play. Maybe this will buy it some time, but oof, dude, just get to a game. We gotta see what you're capable of. You're not giving us your all. You gotta show us. I normally would agree, like taking your time, yeah, all for it. Do that. Take your time, do your story. But for the sake of the series' survival, I just think it needs to get on with it. And most sports series, I think, if I can remember right, would have had their first game at this point, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Sports series are always weird with pacing. It's hard to find that sweet spot, especially in a very competitive magazine like Shonen Jump. And they are looking for the best of the best right now. They're in this era where it's gotta be One Piece 2 or else it's not worth putting in the magazine. And they're on that quest for the sports series. And I thought this was the one. And man, if it's not, then, oh, dude, I don't want to sit through 100,000 more sports series till they find the right one again. Just give us one and run with it, man. I don't need to go through that again. I want to see this series last and stick around and thrive. I know it's capable. Alright, that's going to do it for our weekly Shonen Jump 2025 issue number 50. Pretty good issue, I gotta say. Not as good as last week's. Last week's was kind of a banger, but still pretty solid all around. A lot of great chapters to talk about. Had a great time, as per usual. But of course, one series did stand out above them all, and this week, this may shock some of you. This goes to Blue Box, chapter 218, A Place of Memories. So, I thought about this one long and hard, because I really wanted to give it the One Piece because that was a fantastic chapter, and I haven't given it the One Piece in a while. And look, this Blue Box chapter, oh, phenomenal. I loved it so much. Ending kind of crazy. Don't know how to feel about it yet. So this is a risky pick because this could bite me in the ass. Future chapters could make me look back at this chapter in a very negative light, depending on where things go. It's so weird because I'm not confident in me picking this chapter. But if I just hone in this week how I feel, this isolated chapter, I think it's phenomenal. This is an incredible chapter, and it gave me so much to talk about. It got my head racing, my heart pounding, lots to think about. So well done. I gotta give it up. Even if I don't end up liking where it goes from here, I just gotta give it up for a really well done manga chapter. I feel like this will be controversial. I don't know. I haven't read other people's opinions on this chapter. I will be very curious to. But generally, people's thoughts on where Hina has been heading lately have been pretty negative. And this will enforce it to some and make others, step back and take a look, reevaluate how they've been thinking. Like me, I don't know. I've been pretty centralist on everything revolving this Hina plotline, so I don't know. I don't know. And I still don't know. So because that's where I stand, I think this chapter hit extra hard because I just don't really know or care where it's going. I'm just looking at this chapter for what it is, and what this is a fantastic chapter. So I got to give it up. I'm sorry, One Piece, it would have gone to you, but I really think this is a very, very, very good manga chapter. I loved it. I gotta give it credit for that. Can't just let it go unnoticed. All right, next week, finally, this new series batch is over. I'm glad. I like new series waves, but this one hasn't been like the most exciting one to me. I don't know. A lot of these series are just middle of the road, whatever kind of deals. We'll see where they go. But next week, Witch Watch is back. It was off this week, by the way. It's back and taking the cover. That's exciting. It's in a very good spot right now, interesting spot. So I'm excited to see where it goes. That's all I got this week. Thank you so much for watching. There will be another video coming out this week. Sorry for the delay on that. It's been like 3 weeks since I've had a non-Shonen Jump video, but there will be one coming up this week that I'm pretty excited for. Not going to be for everybody, but I'm excited about it. So check it out if you can. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on the chapter, favorite chapter of the week, least favorite chapter of the week, whatever you want to tell me about. I'm all ears. And remember, you can also become a channel member at 2 tiers. The Nice Prisoner tier will get you early access to new videos and your name put in the credits. And the Super Nice Prisoner tier will do all the same, but also I will read your name out loud right now. So thank you to my Super Nice Prisoners, DJ Tengen, Hexanen Zijiden, Milu Kitty, Braden Farrell, Half Pipe, Rafker, the Cosmere 64, Cosmic, and Key to the Skies. Let's get some more nice prisoners in here. We got so many Super Nice Prisoners. You'll see in the credits in a second. We got 2 nice prisoners and however many Super Nice Prisoners this is. That's insane. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support, but come on. Get some more people in the credits there because the imbalance is insane on the credit sequence. Regardless, thank you all so much for the support and for watching this video, and I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy, guys.